Hello, dear friends. Today, I want to share a story and a reflection, something close to the hearts of many seniors, yet often left unspoken. It is the story of loneliness. Not just the passing kind that comes and goes, but the deep, quiet kind that lingers in the evenings when the phone doesn't ring, when the house feels too big, and when the heart remembers the people who are no longer sitting at the dinner table. This is not a lecture. It is not a list of rules. It is a gentle conversation like a walk together in the park at sunset where we talk about loneliness and, most importantly, about ways to ease it, soften it, and maybe even turn it into something meaningful. So, pour yourself a cup of tea, sit somewhere comfortable, and let's walk through this together. For many seniors, loneliness first shows itself in the silence of everyday life. Maybe your children have grown and moved far away. Maybe your partner has passed on. Or maybe you simply don't hear from friends as often as you once did. The television fills the room with sound, but it doesn't laugh back. The chairs in the living room stand waiting, but nobody sits in them. And sometimes the hardest part is not the silence itself, but the memories that come rushing in during that silence. Loneliness is not weakness. It is a sign of being human, of having lived. A life filled with love, connection, and memories. The fact that you feel it means your heart is alive and still longing for connection. And that is a beautiful thing. First, let us say this clearly. Loneliness is not something to be ashamed of. It is not a disease nor a flaw. It is a signal, much like hunger or thirst, telling us that we are in need of something essential human connection. Think of it this way: when you feel hungry, it doesn't mean you are broken. It simply means your body needs nourishment. When you feel lonely, your spirit is asking for nourishment. That nourishment may come in the form of companionship, activity, or even self-reflection. Too often, seniors blame themselves for being lonely. I should be stronger. I should not need anyone. But dear friend, we are not built to be islands. We are made for togetherness, whether that togetherness is with family, with community, or even with nature itself. How do we begin to soften the edges of loneliness? Not with grand gestures, but with small, gentle acts. Call someone, even briefly. Do not wait for others to call you. Sometimes the bridge must be built from your side first. Even a 2-minute phone call can change the entire day. Step outside. Walk to the park, even if only for a few minutes. Let the sun touch your face, greet the trees, watch the birds. Nature has its way of reminding us that we are never truly alone. Keep something alive. A plant, a pet, or even a small herb garden on your windowsill. Caring for something living creates a rhythm, a purpose, and a gentle form of companionship. Join a circle. Whether it's a senior center, a book club, a choir, or even a local walking group, there are places where others are waiting for your presence, even if they don't know it yet. It is the small steps that keep the doors of the heart open. Let me tell you about Mrs. Park. She lived alone after her husband passed away. For many years, she spent her evenings in silence, watching television until late at night. But one day she decided to join a small group at her local library, a writing circle for seniors. She said at first she was nervous, but after a few weeks she found herself sharing stories she had never told before. And slowly she realized she was not alone. Her stories were welcomed, and so was she. Or Mr. Johnson, who moved into a senior community after feeling isolated in his house. At first, he resisted the idea. I don't need anyone, he told himself. But soon he found joy in playing cards in the lounge, sharing meals with new friends, and even teaching younger residents how to garden. He discovered that connection was not about age, it was about openness. These stories remind us it is never too late. Connection can be found at any stage of life. There is another side to this journey. Loneliness can sometimes lead us to rediscover solitude, the peaceful, nourishing kind of being alone. Solitude is different from loneliness. Loneliness is the ache of absence. Solitude is the comfort of presence, your own presence. In solitude, you might pick up an old hobby again. Maybe painting, knitting, writing letters, or even learning something new through books or online classes. In solitude, you might find time to reflect, to meditate, or simply to sit quietly with a warm cup of tea. When we learn to enjoy our own company, the silence of the house becomes less heavy. It becomes a friend rather than an enemy. One of the most healing remedies for loneliness is connection across generations. Seniors have stories, wisdom, and experiences that younger people deeply need, even if they don't always realize it. Volunteer at a local school to read to children. Offer to mentor a young adult who is searching for guidance. Share your family recipes, your traditions, your memories with your grandchildren or with neighbors. You may be surprised at how much light this brings not only to you, but to those younger hearts who will remember your kindness for years to come. Sometimes loneliness can grow into something larger, like sadness that does not lift, or a feeling of being stuck in the dark. If you ever find yourself here, please remember you do not need to carry it alone. Reach out. Speak to a doctor, a counselor, a trusted friend. There are resources, support groups, and caring professionals whose purpose is to help lighten this weight. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of courage, a sign that you believe life can still hold more for you. Here is something you can try each day. A simple grounding practice. In the morning, before turning on the television or checking the news, sit quietly for a moment. Place your hand on your heart. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is one small act of connection I can make today? It might be sending a text, calling someone, smiling at a neighbor, or even talking to the shopkeeper at the grocery store. One small act. And at night, when you lie down to rest, reflect on that act. Give yourself gratitude for reaching out. Gratitude is like a warm blanket. It reminds us that even small things matter. Dear friend, loneliness in later life is real. It is common, and it can feel overwhelming at times. But it does not have to be permanent. Life still holds space for laughter, for connection, for meaning. Your presence matters. Your story matters. And somewhere out there, someone is waiting to be touched by your kindness, your wisdom, and your companionship. So take that step. Make that call. Join that group. Smile at that stranger. Because even in the quietest of seasons, life has a way of surprising us with new beginnings. Thank you for spending this time with me. If today's message touched your heart, please share it with someone who may need to hear it. And remember, you are not alone. You are part of a larger circle, a community of souls who walk together through every stage of life. Until next time, be gentle with yourself and let a little light in.